Hi again from the Canon Academy Homeschool, and this is part 2 of our Labor Day week 2024, in which I had mentioned Hooked on Phonics pamphlets that we read. And this is one of the pamphlets. This is nonfiction. It will be read by my granddaughter this week, and it is about Captain Cook, and I believe it's his trip to Antarctica. Terra Australis. So, maybe that was the discovery of Australia then. But, okay, so the story is quite long. The paragraphs are numbered because over here, when they finish reading, sometimes there is something to do for reading comprehension or language arts where they have to go back and refer to a paragraph by number to figure out how a word was meant, or another word for a meaning that they're giving to you then. On the back, there's more of that. Sometimes they have a place where they have to make up new words and things like that. There are little make-and-dos down here and things like that. That being said, this is the original booklet that comes with that. Oh, and I should mention the other booklet I just showed you. There are 100 of those in a small container, and it's got to do with this, your reading power. It's one of the original Hooked on Phonics sets. Now my daughter used this book, so I found copies that were blank and made copies of them, and this would be an answer sheet. So they take the questions on the back of the book and they answer these, and then you write how many are right. And it's numbered up here if it's a green book and the number, or a blue book, or a pink or red book. As they get older, they end up with another section called Section E, and I had just been drawing those on, and then I ran copies. And then there's also, as they get further along, like booklet 63, it's a page where they have lots more to do and everything. In the back of the book, okay, I guess it's not pink books, it's red books, I just saw that. But in the back of the book is this chart, and even though it looks pink, that's really meant to be red. So as they read them, each of these little square diamond things has a number of the booklet, and they can color those in. So each of the children has a copy of that. I made a copy of my daughter's original, so I would have it put in her old folders. Calvert script. Okay. This is what it is. It's called Writing Fun, and it was originally put out by Calvert School. And you could buy whole curriculum from them. And as the child got older, there were a few electives you could buy also. And it was a homeschooling kit, and it was very expensive, I have to say. And it was worth it until I figured out what to do and everything. But it got to be hectic because it was an all-day thing. I mean, 5 or 6 hours at the least. And I was still taking stuff with us to my job at night when I taught at the dance studio, or when I went to teach Zumba classes that I used to do at either of the Ys. And it was a lot, and it was wearing. And so eventually I learned to just throw my stuff together with workbooks, textbooks I liked, and different parts of curriculum I liked. And this is one of them. This is what Calvert script looks like. So you basically print your capital letter, and then it gives you various different ways to write the letters. And of course, for E, you have E and double E. And F, there are 3 different ways to do it. Well, 2 actually, I guess. One by itself, and here's how you connect it if there's 2. And the same with L. And let's see. Okay, so I'm looking at this backwards and it's a little messed up. So G also has 2 different ways. If you're not connecting to another word, you can just make a straight stick, or you can loop it. O by itself and together. P is straight stick, and so is Q. Then you get down here to, yes, Y is what I'm looking for. If it's not connected, it's straight stick. If you're connecting it to another letter in the word, loop. S by itself, two S's. I tell the kids this is like making a sailboat. Okay? So, that being said, there are places in this book, and I'm glad I did the second video, because the first time I ran through it, I did not have trouble. So, you will learn how to do one or two letters at a time. This is just the printing ones, so that's like no big deal. Next page is words, and they're allowed to finish with a picture or a word of their own for the sentence. See what else I can find for you here. Okay, so here's another example. Here's S and E. And then we write the word C, and then we write ICA, and they drew a flower. And that's what the kids do. On the other side is the word cat, a capital A and a lowercase a. So most of the pages, they're going to do capital letter, lowercase, and stuff. It's really simple. The kids like it. And they don't have to learn. I mean, some of the cursive I learned when I was a kid, the capital letters are really wonky, especially like the T and the F and stuff. It kind of messes kids up when they learn that. So that's why I like this. And so many people tend to print and write cursive mixed up in their sentences words anyway these days. So we'll do this. It's simple, and I do have a chart with the traditional method of cursive that they can use later on if they like. But for now, we're just doing these. I have copied all these pages and put into plastic protector sheets and put them in a binder so they could use them for wipe-off pages, because I've made a whole wipe-off binder of different math and maps and things like that I want them to have on hand, and we use crayons and wipe-off markers with those and stuff. So it's pretty much it. But those are the things we like. I really like the Hooked on Phonics booklets. I've noticed that reading the vintage readers, which repeat new words and things several times before moving on to newer words, has worked out well in teaching the children to read. Most of the kids I've taught to read, including my own three, were able to read by 3 and fairly fluent by age 4. Now my great-grandson is an exception because I didn't get him until he was 6. But he is moving along just as quickly and has already caught up. Because even though he's 9, a lot of kids who are 9 are only in 3rd grade and stuff. Some are in 4th, some are in 3rd. Just depends on when their parents put them in school according to their birth dates and all that, and the rules of the state they live in. Ours kids don't really have to go to school until they're 7. So a lot of homeschool parents choose to just read to their children and play games with them and things like that, and just discover the world all up until the age of 7, and then they start. So that being said, you should never worry about whether your child's behind or not, because your child is where your child needs to be, which is something that public and private schools can't always deal with, because there are so many children, and the teachers have to stay on point with the curriculum and where they're at and be ready for the testing and stuff. Which, well, having mentioned that, as far as testing, here in my state, homeschoolers are not allowed to take the same test that the public schools take, but they can do the PASS test, which you can get through Hewitt Homeschooling, and I believe it's like $35 or $40 a student. For them, you do not need to have a prerequisite of your own college certificates and things to do the test, and believe me, it's a no-brainer. I helped with test at public schools, and I was never required to have a college education. The teacher just explained to me what to do, read the directions, time the child, don't give them the answer, so this is easy, and the past test is strictly for homeschoolers. Now, that being said, you can go to Bob Jones University. I believe they're .com, but don't hold me to that. You click on homeschooling and then on test, and it will tell you which ones you can do. I think you can do the Stanford test. I know you can do the Iowa test. One of them requires that the person giving the test should hold a bachelor's degree, and one, I believe, does not. And it has been years, so I'm not really sure which is which. And as soon as I start looking into that again, because I do think we're at a place where I want to test them to see what they really need work on, besides what I've observed on my own, I will let you know. But those tests give you their strengths and weaknesses, and also measure them according to public, private, parochial, and homeschool students nationwide, where the past test is nationwide homeschool. So those are some things to consider. I would suggest scheduling so that you have time to give a 30-minute test here, a break, a 40-minute test here, a break. Then if there are any short sections, like 10, 15, 20 minutes, do a couple of those back to back, take a break, do some more another day, and so on. Give yourself a couple of days, at least 2 or 3, to complete any of these tests. The past test isn't, if I remember correctly, is not a time test. The other two, Iowa and Stanford, are time tests and things. So, I hope this has been enlightening for you, giving you some ideas and things. And if you like the video, just hit like. Feel free to subscribe. It's absolutely free. No strings attached. And share with your friends. Or send them to YouTube, to my channel, the Academy Homeschool. Thank you again. Bye.